He's used to a backup camera that beeps when he gets near someone.
Alright, we're gonna finish off with the with the last part of the presentation for the evening.
I still want to know what. I think we're done.
No, we're just getting started. Alright.
People love to do it.
Alright, so I'd like to thank everyone for coming out tonight. I'd like to thank Kathy and Dr. Vogel for setting this night up and everything they've done for us this year. Special thanks to all of our attendings who are here and all of them that couldn't make it tonight. You guys help us, give us an education, allow us to operate on your patients, and for that we're eternally grateful. My disclosures tonight, I'm $350,000 in debt and it's growing by the minute. I assure you there'll be no pictures of Nick Ricchetti sitting on the toilet like there were last week. Well, I'll show these pictures, and this one, and that one, and this one as well. But what you will see is many funny pictures of our seniors growing up in life and making their way to here tonight. It's all in good fun. And we appreciate everything you've done this year and helped get our program back on track. Yehuda Mikalov. Yehuda. When you first meet him, he pronounces his name like Miklov or Mikalov, like the beer. Now, you may find it hard to find pictures of Yehuda, awake that is. You see, Yehuda can fall asleep anywhere. At home, in conference, and even in the OR. When I was a student at Cherry Hill OR with Dr. Dubowich, I heard the funniest statement I've ever heard out of a resident's mouth. Yehuda was an intern watching dudes operate, and he said to him, "Dr. Dubowich, let me know if you get tired, I'll take over for you." You guys always complained that Yehuda never came to any mandatory orthopedic functions. You always thought he was probably home sleeping. But I know where he really was. And I have photographic proof that he was at every bar and bat mitzvah in Cherry Hill. Dr. Colley would call him Yoda. Ah, yes. I think we all heard of the Kippah incident with Yehuda my intern year. For those of you who don't know, when I was an intern, I grabbed Yehuda's Kippah off the top of his head. He looked at me and said, "Don't you ever touch a stupidity officer's Kippah." He then went to Ben Solari and said, "You need to teach your intern some respect." Here's a picture of Shannon getting dressed to go to work for morning rounds. You know, Yehuda once asked Shannon if she was swollen and expecting child. I wonder why. We'd like to thank Yehuda's wife, Yana, for putting up with his busy napping schedule over the past 5 years. Yehuda will be doing a dual trauma arthroplasty fellowship down in West Virginia. He'll be increasing the Jewish population down there by 100%. Oh my goodness. Tejas Patel. Tejas grew up in a small Mexican province in the United States known as North Carolindia. When Tejas was little, he wanted to be a scholar. Oh no, sorry, I messed up already. When Tejas was small for a moment, but then he grew up real fast. Tejas wanted to become a world traveler and a scholar. He enjoyed rock climbing, hiking, skiing. Tejas was so good at skiing that in college he wanted to travel abroad and join the Olympics. But this was Tejas in college. He got into some trouble, started hanging out with the wrong crowd, and he became utterly lost. You see, Tejas could no longer travel on planes. So the Olympics were out. Sorry about her. He was drawn to a profession that every Indian aspires to, a Dell customer service. Tejas has been referred to by the biggest Mexican in our class by Dr. Bieber. not everything's bigger in Mexico. Thankfully, this was another phase that would pass, and Tage decided to pursue a career in orthopedics, and he'll be doing a trauma fellowship next year at Ohio. Jeff Murray. Here's Jeff as a kid. And what kid wouldn't want to be a firefighter when he grew up? Here's what a normal Superman costume looked like in the 80s. Here's the one that Jeff wore. Hey Jeff, Joseph A. Bank called. They got a buy one, get 7 free deal on golf t-shirts, but you gotta hurry, the deal ends tonight. Get there now. Speaking of tonight, anyone ever receive a call, show of hands, anyone ever receive a call from Jeff at 6:05 p.m. telling you how late he worked for the day and how tired he was? Yeah, me neither. Any of you guys ever do a rotation with Jeff at Cooper? Anyone ever see him there? Me neither. Yeah, he always seemed to set up an extra body at Cooper so he wouldn't have to take less call. But wait, funny, that doesn't look like any part of Camden. I've seen it. Little known fact about Jeff. Oh. He loves to dance. Weddings, bar mitzvahs, concerts, St. Patrick's Day, and even his intern graduation. He's also a huge sports fan. Must be hard liking all those crappy teams. You guys ever go to work early in the morning before you had your cup of coffee and realize that you put on different colored socks? Well, Jeff put on different colored Crocs. Jeff loves sports medicine and will be doing a rotation or doing a fellowship at UMass next year. But we cannot talk about Jeff and his love for sports without mentioning the shoulder scope incident. He was at Stratford. It was a cold, windy Tuesday. Dr. Marcelli was operating. Jeff was holding the scope and they were doing a very tough rotator cuff repair. And then it happened. Jeff asked Dr. Marcelli to come inside it. And the rest, as they say, is history. And finally, this last slide needs no explanation. We'd like to thank Colleen for letting Jeff stay late all those years until 6:05. Ben Thomason. Ben, I'd like to let you know it's an open bar here tonight. They got caffeine-free Dr. Pepper, so go to town, buddy. Most boys want to be professional athletes when they grow up, right? Well, Ben wanted to be a hand model. If that didn't work well, he also is an aspiring butt model as well. Later in life, Ben tried to convert the rest of the world to Mormonism. Here we have a family portrait of Ben back home. You guys ever see the back of Ben's Toyota? Well, I was able to get a picture of it actually. Thomason took up surfing during residency. His surfing buddies used to like to hide his surfboard while he was getting dressed in the bathroom. Dr. Cawley called him Lily. I want everyone to think about the happiest moment in your life right now. Right? Some may say the day they got married. Some may say the day their first child was born. But for Ben, we were lucky enough to get a picture of this. It was the day he received the new edition of Green's Operative Hand. Little known fact about Thomason. Some people can name the state capitals of the entire country. Well, Thomason has memorized the laws for having sex with animals in each state. Cows in Texas, sheep in West Virginia. He can tell you about it all later. What is it, less than 40 pounds or something? We'll talk about it. While preparing for tonight's roast, I used Tage's skills as a Dell Customer Support representative to try to get some dirt on Ben. We hacked into his computer. I found a folder entitled Hot Chicks. But in that folder was a password encrypted file entitled Mormon Porn. This is what I found. It's a real thing. It really exists. This is Thomason at the last party that had free caffeinated soda. And for the past 5 years, and many caffeinated drinks later, Thomason has perfected his new move. Magnum. We'd like to thank Crystal for putting up with Ben's long hours and infatuation with hand surgery, and he'll be doing sports medicine next year down in Texas. And last but not least, Jason Cox. Cox, I'll do my best to keep this presentation at 15 minutes. Not much can be said about Cox that hasn't been said already, but I'm going to try. Yes, a tree fell on his house. Yes, he was bitten by a tick. And yes, he developed Bell's palsy as a result. That was just second-year residency, folks. But to quote Half-Baked, in order to understand who Jason Cox is, we have to look at who Jason Cox was. Maybe this is a funny thing from the movie, but maybe some of you may not understand. Jason was a cute boy who grew up in rural West Virginia. Well, cute by West Virginia standards. That's not Jason, that's just a picture on the internet I found. Like most of the kids his age, he enjoyed many things. Disney, riding bikes, and playing cowboys and Indians. His Halloween costumes were new and original, year after year. Cox played lots of sports growing up. Soccer, baseball, basketball, hunting. There he is on the swim team. Well, how did that one get in there? I'm sure you guys have heard of Bo Jackson. You know who he was. But did you know that Jason Cox was the original? Remember those pictures of me and Murray dressed up like Superman when we were kids? I think they had different costumes in West Virginia. No, that's you. Jason went started out dressing in drag. I think that was foreshadowing for many things to come. I think it's suntan lotion. It's suntan lotion. Here's Cox at his high school graduation.